Hey, I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. Welcome to the Broken Skull Sessions. Today, I get inside the skull of one of the hottest properties in all of sports entertainment, my friend Bayley. What's happening? How are you? It's been a minute.
I'm great. Just call me your friend, dude. So I'm doing great.
Man, just right off the bat, love the new do.
Thank you.
This is a haircut heard around the world. How you feel about it?
Now I'm used to it. You know, it's been a little bit over a year, but it took a lot of, it keeps getting shorter and shorter, and it took a lot of getting used to. But this is the first time I have it, you know, crimped a little bit different style. Normally it's just straight down. But I love it because it's low maintenance. It's easy to wash. I literally wake up in the morning, I'm just like, feel like a dude. All right, cool, looks good. And I love it now, but it was hard.
What did it do to you when you first chopped it off?
I was in shock. I was like, I was talking about this not too long ago, but everybody in the locker room, it was like a big deal. Everybody was in there like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Because no one knew what I was doing that night. And as it was getting cut, everybody was like, no, I can't watch. I can't believe it. It was so much. My hair was like here. It took a lot. I was very much in shock, but I calmed down after a month, maybe.
And you know, we're going to get to this later on in the show because maybe we had to talk about this a couple of years ago and around 2017. You were kind of feeling something. But right now, I want to pull up a graphic on screen and say, congratulations.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated, #1, and obviously there with your very good friend Sasha coming in at #5, Asuka #3, Charlotte at 4, Becky Lynch now at the 2 spot, but there you are #1.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? What does that make you feel?
Man, it's crazy because I don't know. I used to buy that magazine all the time.
There was a shoot. You had to.
Yeah, but it was, you know, I had the subscription for the WWE magazines that would get sent. Like you would buy it from the magazine and put your check in there, and every month I would get the WWE magazine. But I always saw this in a Walgreens or, you know, one of those, like a grocery store. But it wasn't WWE, so I didn't know what it was. But either you were on it or The Rock was on it or somebody I knew was on it, and I would open it up and I'd see a million wrestlers that I didn't know who they were, like indie guys or different companies. But I would buy the magazine, thought it was so cool. I'd learn about different people, and now I'm on the cover of it, and it's just really, really crazy. Especially after this year, you know, sometimes when I read these things, when throughout the past years I see where I'm ranked, I'm like, whatever. Like, you know, it doesn't seem like a big deal, but in this year, in this sense, in this, you know, it just felt like it was my year in a way, and it was my biggest year of my career. So I don't know, it feels good.
I think it's well deserved. I think you picked up so much momentum 2019, 2020. They hit the nail right on the head. And there's something when you walk through those stores, something drew you, especially if you're a wrestling fan like you and me are. You had to go pick it up. And like you said, you'd go to those top 10 lists and you'd see people that maybe weren't in the same territory as you, so you had never met them. And now everything's kind of global, so it's changed. But as I take your attention to this graphic, I have one more. Hey!
Oh, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
What? But look, you got the cover by yourself.
Well, you know, this is for you.
Yes.
You take a sip of it. We don't have to go crazy with it.
Thank you. I won't go crazy.
Cheers and congratulations. You've drank a couple of beers with me before back in the day. But cheers and congratulations to an outstanding career, a hell of a year, and
cheers.
#1 on PWI
Thank
Top 500. You. God dang it, that is a tasty beverage.
It is. It's so
I'm
good.
not trying to
so icy. It's, you know.
I'm not trying to shield.
I told you when I first tried this, I don't drink IPAs. I don't drink, because I don't know anything about beer. I just drink the beer.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you know? But I don't drink IPAs because they're a little too much for me. But this one, the first time I had it, I think I bought the big old tall can too from that store that's nearby.
Yeah, it was in the bottles back in.
Yeah. So good.
Hey, like I said, you've been around for a while. I think you're doing the best work of your career right now. And let's show a clip from some of your recent work, and then we'll go back in time to when you started in the business. Watch this first.
I never cared about you, and I damn sure didn't care about our friendship. I used you every single step of the way.
Jeez.
And thanks to you, I became 2 belts Banks hot, 2 belts Bayley Dos Straps, the first ever Grand Slam Women's Champion. And thanks to you, I am the longest reigning SmackDown Women's Champion. But after last week, you are completely useless to me.
A little stiff on the L,
You get
huh?
scared.
got
She
the
pointing
dagger.
at me?
You changed so much.
I don't know. I got a lot, but I didn't realize that I was doing this, but it feels powerful.
It looks like
guess.
you're having a blast.
I am.
You're serious as a heart attack and a little dagger shot at the end. I loved it.
Thank you. I messed up I called myself Two Belts Banks. I was so mad at myself I said
Yeah, but you know what? I stuttered and did so many of those things so many times. It doesn't really matter.
I
So you
know.
got your point across. And the thing about it was the attitude, it was the swagger, and you were bragging.
Yeah.
So you got the point across. But
Okay.
anyway, that's some of your recent work. And you've been known for just being this lovable baby face.
Yeah.
And I want to take you back to your love of professional wrestling. Now you
Oh
got
God, look at my pimples. So this is this day. So I met John Cena. This is in San Francisco at an optometrist place. But before this, I met Rey Mysterio 2 hours before this. Rey Mysterio at a Popeyes Chicken in Oakland. That's the kind of fan I was. Drove to Oakland, Popeyes Chicken, waited in line forever, met Rey Mysterio, got in the car, and my dad drove me to San Francisco to meet Cena. Like that, and then I made him sign that, and then I obviously met him again because that's a signed picture. Like that's,
Right.
you know? I forgot where I met him the second time, but
Pretty cool for
It
your
was
dad to drive
crazy.
you around to
Yeah.
meet a bunch of the guys.
yeah, my dad, my mom, my stepmom actually took me a couple times. So I was, I had the support from, my family that was like, she's a weirdo. Let's help her out. Look at that. Yep. That was at a fan fest at the school that I trained at.
When did you know that you wanted to be a professional wrestler?
Probably around like 12 or 13. I was watched when I was 10 or 11, but it wasn't until like I saw Lita and Trish and those, Victoria and Gail Kim, like that era where I was really like so intrigued by the women that were doing these crazy things. And that, like, Lita was just the one that stuck out because to me, she dressed so differently and she had crazy different hair and she didn't look like everybody else. Where
She was cool.
she was so cool.
She was
like,
cool and she was sexy, but she was
Yes.
badass.
Exactly. And that's like the coolest thing ever. To me, I'm just this like little, at the time, this little like timid tomboy that just wants to be a wrestler, but how am I going to do that when I don't look like that? But then she was that, she's wearing baggy pants, she's got a baggy shirt, but still had her like thong showing and her bra. And it's just like, dang, maybe I can do that, And it's just, it wasn't until then where I was like, all right, I think I could do this. And then I started watching wrestling live, like indie shows, and just realizing that they were just people. It wasn't this fake person on screen. It's not this like superhero. It's like real life superheroes. But once I saw it in person, I was like, whoa, they're people. I'm people. We both have hands. We both have feet. Like I can do this too. So maybe around 13 is when I got really serious that I wanted to do it.
So how'd you go about getting in your training?
So actually, was it this year, or I think this was this year. I was like 17 here, so I talked to them. I didn't realize that they had a school. This is a big time wrestling fan fest that they call it. And this is where, like Virgil, Iron Sheik, all the Val Venus, like all these guys are here. But then Big Time Wrestling had a table set up and they said, oh, they're just handing out flyers. And I've watched all their shows. I go to their shows every month. They're like, hey, you want to join our school? I had no idea that they had a training camp. And I was like, yeah, I do. And I could start in 1 year because my mom can't tell me no. She's always, I don't want you to wrestle. I don't want you to get.
What, was she waiting for you to turn 18?
No, I was waiting till I turned 18
Okay.
because she just didn't want me
Yeah.
to do it. So then I was like, once I'm 18, you can't tell me no. And I'd be done with school and
Yeah.
high school or whatever. So this is where I talked to them about it. They didn't seem to take me too seriously at the time. And then, a year later, I followed up with them and I said I wanted to start training. And that was, the rest is history, kind of.
How long did you train before you had your first match?
6 months. And in our school, it was you have to wait 8-month period. Like it was an 8-month period. Then we could talk about having your first match. But it was very scary because I was the only girl in the training, like in my training facility for years.
How did you take to the physicality once you started taking bumps and all that stuff? Because a lot of people don't like taking bumps. Obviously, I've watched you work. You're one of my favorites. But when you first got in there, you were so intimidated and you saw that they had hands like you and they were human beings.
Yeah.
How'd it feel?
It felt, I don't remember the bumps hurting too bad. And I think learning like a snapmare was probably, like the flip bumps, the snapmares or the suplexes, learning those, my ankles were, because I wasn't planting my feet, I was just going over. And I remember my ankles being bothered by that. But running the ropes was what killed me. Because we had, they had like cable wires and then
Yeah.
with tape around it. So when I learned how to run the ropes, I had bruises all over my ribs. And I had my boyfriend at the time couldn't even hug me. He was getting so mad at me because he would go to hug me. I'm like, no, don't touch me. It hurt so bad. And I remember that so clearly. And it's just, you get the callus to it, but everything else.
That is the thing about running the ropes. They take a toll because people don't get it.
No.
And you got, like you said, you got to hit them for a while before you get calloused up and you're used to it.
Even the WWE ropes, like if they tighten them before the shows, because all
Yeah.
the big guys use it. But when we use it, we're like, ow, ow.
You would go from your first match to spend, give or take, about 4 years in different promotions in the indie scene. How fast did you feel like you came along and learned the trade? And how important was Serena as far as being a mentor to you?
Yeah, she was awesome. I know I started picking it up within the first year, but I didn't feel confident until I met Serena, I think. And that was maybe 3.5 years in.
And get some context to who Serena is.
So Serena Deeb, she used to work for WWE. She was with CM Punk. She's the one who just shaved her head. She was a trainer at the PC as well. But she was brought in right after the first time she left WWE, and she was my tag partner. So I wanted to have a match against her, but they put us together, and she just, I don't know, she saw something in me. I think she saw a lot of herself in me and like the way I carried myself, the way we put the match together, the way I worked. She just wanted to help me. So we went to autograph signing together for her. We spent the day together, and then she's like, I'm gonna get you in contact with Shimmer, who was the all-women's promotion, and that was, for a woman's wrestler, for someone like me, that's where you want to go to get noticed and to work with a bunch of different people. And like, she got me in there. I can't thank her enough.
Do you feel like just because you watch so many live shows and you watch so much television that you kind of, through osmosis, just kind of picked it up naturally when you were being taught? Do you think that helped?
Maybe. And I watch Tough Enough a lot. Like, that.
I don't know if that was any help.
To me, it was.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's... not like I sat there and studied it. Okay, how are they doing those front rolls? How are they doing their back bumps? It was just seeing how much you have to put into it.
How did you end up in WWE development?
So I did had a show in, oh my
Look
God,
at
I don't even
that.
remember taking that. Why am I doing this? Who am I, Alexa Bliss? She stole it from me.
That's a cute picture.
That is so crazy. So I had a show in this area, actually, in the LA area, which I wasn't going to do because I had a hyperextended knee, which killed me. But I wanted to wrestle this chick named Mischief. She was going to be a part of the match. My tag partner was Candice LeRae, who's in NXT now. Somebody noticed me. He used to be a referee. Elias,
Yeah,
do you know him?
yeah.
Okay, he was there, and
Good dude.
yeah, he's so nice, and he just liked me. He says, something about you, I don't know, but do you want to send me your info and I can send it out? Not knowing where it was going. Next thing you know, WWE calls me. I have a tryout
Wow.
in LA. It was a 3-day tryout, and I think what happened was I was the only female, like I was the only girl that wrestled there. All the other ones were just athletes, but I wanted to help them. I was teaching them stuff, and we were getting in the ring together. They were doing everything that we learned throughout the day. So I think like maybe my leadership really helped me, and then got signed. Made it sound really easy. It wasn't easy. It's just a short version of it.
Well, I want to play some footage for you, and you put this into context for me. But here's the footage.
It's gonna make me cry.
I was always excited about it, obviously, because I was a kid, but they all have an opportunity.
But this is your opportunity. What if this is as close as you ever get? How will that make you feel?
So where was that? What was that all about? Was that while you were down at FCW?
Yeah, I think so. There was I can't tell if that's Dusty talking to me or.
No, that's a producer. Name's
Okay.
Chris.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he helped me so much. So it has to be I think that's at FCW where my promos, I needed so much help. I just didn't know who I had no character and no personality. I was just a wrestler, you know? So they put me in a separate class than the promo. Like we would have promo class with everybody, but they kept about 6 of us and we did extra sessions and they would keep us go a different day. And that was one of them where I was just cutting this promo about how much I love wrestling and blah, 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 I work so hard, but that's not interesting. They were trying to get to the core of me, like, who am I? And it would just make me break down. I'm like, I don't know. I just love wrestling. There's nothing that makes me feel this way. And that's why every single promo I would just break down crying because I didn't know how to fully express it.
But also, you know, before you really come up with a character, that base, you know, like you said, you're not really coming from a place with anything solid to come off of, because what
Yeah.
am I? Who am I?
Right.
And I was there as well. But how did the superfan hugger character develop? Because they figured out that's who you are.
Yeah, basically.
You're really a sweetheart.
I'm just a huge freaking fan, you know? It was literally Dusty said he was just trying anything with me. He was so patient with me, but let's get something out of you because you can wrestle, but we need something more. So he put me in there. He said, maybe you need to interact with somebody. So he put me in front of the camera with Summer Rae. He's like, just talk about her, talk to her, do something. I was like, I don't know what you want me to do. And it turned out to just be this, like, it sounded like I was in love with her or I was obsessed with her. I just was complimenting her. And I kind of felt like Mickie James and the Trish angle, you know? Yeah. And that movie Superstar with Molly Shannon, that was how I pictured myself as I was doing it. And he loved it. And so did the producer, Chris. They were just so, hey, there's something here, go write about it. I was having fun with it. So just adding little things. I literally went home and watched Superstar, like adding the dorkiest things, thinking of how I was when I was 12-year-old doing 2 autograph sessions one day, like that kind of stuff.
You were obviously feeling it. Why do you think it works so well at NXT? And maybe you just answered that because you were having so much fun with it.
Yeah, I think it came off naturally. And I think, honestly, it was so cool.
I mean, that's hard not to like.
Yeah,
You know,
I'm all, yeah. No, I think it was just, for me, I felt like that little girl, right? Like that used to be me. So I think they just needed someone to feel like a real connection with and not just like you're this larger than life and I can never. That's what Lita did for me, you know?
Right.
Like I can never be Trish Stratus. I can never look like that. But to me, it was like, oh, Lita, I can wear those freaking baggy pants. I can wear that t-shirt and wrestle. So I wanted to do that for little girls, but also be me and also, I don't know. And the tassels and all that stuff just came from my love from a Macho Man, and I never seen a girl come out with that stuff. So it all kind of came together. But the connection with the fans, I think, was just natural because they saw a lot of themselves in me that they're maybe a little too shy to show.
Yeah, but you know what? And you're that bridge. But I just thought it was relatable and it was genuine and it was who you are.
Yeah, which was I got so lucky with. Like even my hair, you know, I never wanted to get hair extensions. I don't know how to curl my hair or do anything. So all I know to do is throw it up in a ponytail and it worked. So I got lucky.
It's working really good and you're gaining a lot of momentum. The 4 horsewomen of NXT, you, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, and Charlotte Flair.
Mm-hmm.
There you are, all 4
Nice.
together. Who came up with that name? When was that a thing?
Ric Flair did, and I know Shayna and Ronda are gonna get on me for this, whatever. I remember he's obviously Charlotte's dad, so we are the original, I wanna say, but I think it was just like, I remember the first picture we took with him at the PC, I had just broken my hand, and he was there, and he was just talking to us all together, like, cause we were, Sasha and Charlotte were main eventing the live events, we were always in tag matches together, so he's so involved with his daughter's career that he just saw how hard all 4 of us were working at the time. And him just talking to us, he's like, you guys are like the 4 horsewomen, or, and it just
Right.
came up in conversation. So we took a picture with him like that, and then we just started taking pictures. We got interviewed by Joey Styles, I want to say. All 4 of us, one article. So it was just became a thing. and it was
How
awesome.
close were you guys? I mean, because it's so competitive.
Yeah.
And I'm about to branch off into the chemistry. You have chemistry with all of these women, but specifically Sasha
Mm-hmm.
Banks. So were you guys really that close friends, or was it highly competitive? A little bit of both.
I would say so.
Tough business.
I was kind of like the outcast because Sasha was very close with Charlotte and they would travel together all the time. And then she got very close with Becky and then they traveled together all the time. But I was never very close with any of them, you know, until maybe like obviously when we started doing the Brooklyn stuff. But then Sasha and I started getting closer and closer. We were always super close, text all the time. But when it came to traveling and outside of that stuff, I was never like that with Charlotte or Becky. But when we were together, it was just so professional and a competitive spirit too. So we knew how bad each of us wanted it. But it was like, but I want it more. Like I can work with you and we can make magic and make money, but I want it more and I'm gonna be better than you. It was like that mentality.
Right.
And we all fed off each other all the time.
When you looked at your skill set versus what they all brought to the table, how did you assess yourself against them?
I thought I was always like super different and I thought I was always going to be the one to like outlast all of them and be the most consistent one. Like when Becky first came in, I was so in awe of her because she hadn't wrestled in 6 years or something when she had gotten signed. And I thought she was amazing. Obviously, Sasha's amazing. Charlotte made me so mad because she was so athletic and could do anything. And I'm like, I trained 2 years to learn how to do that, you know? But like, I don't know. I guess I just saw myself differently because I had a different style, I guess. I don't know.
Right.
And in my own head, I had to just keep believing that I'm the best one.
But you brought up Brooklyn, and I want to go to a little bit of footage of a match from TakeOver NXT. And this is one of my favorite matches. That was a great crowd.
The best crowd.
Were you nervous?
Oh, yeah. I was crying before and after.
Really?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. She's put on some muscle mass.
Oh, yeah.
Since those days.
Yep.
All right, I love when she goes to the injured hand. Did you almost re-break your hand here?
Yeah,
on
and the stairs.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I did, but I still give her crap to this day.
I
think
just love her as a heel. I
Mm-hmm.
just love her as a heel, and you're a tremendous babyface here. And so she's doing everything. She's attacking the hand. She's taking the bandage off. We've done this before.
Yeah.
And of course, here's where the sympathy comes.
God, she's so incredible, the little things she does, too.
Oh, nice job.
yeah.
Nice sell.
I was done.
Of course, the crowd just mad and horned at
We
her.
felt like you and Rock. We wanted to be like The Rock and Stone Cold,
Oh,
you know?
man.
Man, I would love to wrestle in front of this crowd again.
Man, when you get a hot crowd, there's nothing like that. Okay, trying to Bailey the belly, but she's going down.
She's
Roll up action. Boom. Oh!
gosh.
Arm DDT back to the hand. Oh, bank statement.
Look at that freaking crowd.
Man, ain't that great?
I know, I'll take
Thunderdome
any
helps.
crowd.
We're gonna get to that in a little bit. Great, she's got you right where she wants you. Man, if you could only get to those ropes. Oh, what a heel.
On a broken
A
hand.
broken hand. This is money here, watch this. Well, you did this. Oh, the roll through.
If only I was.
Somehow come back on top. Oh,
God.
that was sweet.
That freaking crowd, I remember it. You can see her Team Bad in the background, like Tamina's like shaking her head.
Yeah,
Hell
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Man, what a cool night.
Got to the ropes, break a hold. Oh, that was nice. Good hook. Oh,
Oh,
kicked
gosh.
out. Good. There's a crowd.
I
Great
know.
false finish. There you go.
Oh my God, I look so scared.
This. That's scary.
That is so scary.
Oh, you're pissed off
Yeah.
now. Here we go with
Her
authority.
ass
Good hook. Bam.
Oh God.
That y'all blew the roof off Jordan. That's still one of my favorite matches, of yours and just in recent memory. It's still one of my favorite matches.
Thank you.
And it's great when the crowd's on fire like
Oh
that.
yeah. I did not expect them to be like that for us.
Man, when you hook them like that, because sometimes you go out there and it's just not there. But y'all told a great story, and they were.
Yeah. I knew I wanted to have an amazing match and that we could. I just wasn't expecting the crowd to be in it with us like that.
Did that match bring you guys closer together just because of
Yeah.
the experience and hey, this is what we can do together?
Yeah, we definitely throughout the years we had so many dark matches that weren't aired, that we couldn't get on TV together. Like we were always stuck together. And when we had that, it was like some magic in the air that just connected us. And like we'll be married for life because of that match,
Right.
and we'll always be intertwined with each other's careers. And I don't know, so special.
When you got the news that you and Sasha were going to be in an Iron Woman match, 30 minutes, whoever has the most pinfalls, what were your thoughts going into that match or even trying to put together a match like that?
It was,
Because that's uncharted waters.
yeah, I didn't even know where to begin. I'm like, how am I supposed to have a match for 30 minutes? And luckily you can see in these pictures, even in my picture, how my eye bags are because we weren't sleeping.
Oh,
like
really?
we were like so stressed out, so nervous, so just watching all kinds of matches. We were up all night, like texting each other, just different ideas. But I was just so nervous because I didn't think I could. How am I going to have enough ideas to last 30 minutes? But it was the main event, and we were doing this again. This match was not supposed to happen. She was supposed to be done after Brooklyn, like beyond WWE and Raw and SmackDown. But the fact that Hunter wanted this again was just, man, I don't know. It was crazy. Some people like this one better than the Brooklyn one.
Man, it's two different matches, right?
Yeah.
But I love both of them.
Yeah.
But you're kind of going from being this lovable character to like, hey, here's this lovable character, but she can work her ass off. And so
Dude, look at my abs.
Yeah, you got
That's what I'm
six-pack
working
there.
back for.
But you know what? But you're not known as just this great character. You're turning to a hell of a worker. They know when they put you in the ring, you're going to deliver a hell of a match for them. And then so women's wrestling, it's always been a male-dominated industry, but now women's wrestling, we've had the divas, we've been through all the history that we've been through, but now it's really catching on fire and it's a thing. And you and the other women are at the forefront of that. How did you feel at that time? Because the business hadn't been like that before.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, you tell me if it has.
Yeah, I know. That was always like, I guess our main goal is just to try to get to that level where we can be in the main event matches and be marquee matches. I think I really started noticing wanting to have matches with everybody and wanting to give someone their first match or their first good match or something to feel comfortable or confident. The year that right after I won the title, so Sasha, Becky, and Charlotte were gone, and it was just me by myself in NXT, where I was the locker room leader and I was the champion, and all these girls were so new. And that was when I really started finding myself as a worker, I think, and being able to position myself to make them look better, or but still make myself look like a champion and still carry myself like a champion. It's a long process to learn how to, for me it was, to be a good worker and what makes you a good worker.
Was it a conscientious decision to say, hey, I am the locker room leader, or was it just assumed, or you just took on the role because there wasn't no one else to take the role because everybody else left?
I think in a way, I always try to bring people together, even before I was wrestling, like friends. I have different groups of friends, but I always wanted to bring people together and like, we should share everything together and let me like do this for you and do that for each other. But I was always like that in the locker room. Like I just wanted everybody to get along. I wanted to get along with everybody. I wanted everyone to have fun and work hard. But once they left, I think it was just kind of, we were the four at the top and now it was just me. So I think it was kind of more of a known thing, I guess.
You carried the NXT Women's Championship for something like 223 days and thereabouts and a few hours. You just mentioned those three got the call up to go to the main roster.
Yeah.
Lone Wolf McQuade, you're
Yeah.
down there by yourself.
Yeah.
How'd that make you feel?
At first, it was a little rough, and I was so confused. I'm like, I knew it. I knew that my stupid look wasn't gonna get me there. Like, I don't know. I just was so like hard on myself. But after a while, I was like, all right, this is good for me. It's good for me to keep me here and brew a little bit longer and get my confidence up. And I really did want to give back. I really did want to help girls. Like Carmella was down there, you know, Liv Morgan. I taught Lacey Evans how to do a headlock takeover. So like I was lucky to be there in that position, and I think it helped me in the long run for sure.
So about 6 months later, you got the call up to the main roster.
Yeah, gosh.
What
Well,
was up?
What happened? I had my match with Asuka, or my second match with Asuka at TakeOver, and then I think I knew it was gonna happen just because we were in Brooklyn and they were trying to give me like that, you know, Brooklyn loves you because of that match. I don't know. It was just crazy. Like Foley brought me in, and it was such a perfect setup for me. They set me up so nice, and I had a match with Dana and was feuding with Charlotte right off the bat. But I just remember the crowd, like how I couldn't believe that they cared about me that much, you know? Like they were so excited for me, as if they were my family. It was cool.
And 6 months after that, you win your first WWE Women's Championship. Big deal, right?
Yeah.
Against
huge
Charlotte
deal.
Flair.
Uh-huh.
And you'd go on to retain that at your first WrestleMania 33 in a four-way match against Nia Jax, Sasha Banks, and Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
Take me through that ride and your first WrestleMania experience.
I don't know. I remember like man, that was so crazy. Like, gosh, of course I have the hardest match ever. I hate four-ways, I hate triple threats. Now it's elimination. It's just, I was like putting all this stuff on me, like so much pressure on myself. Then I got told that, you know, I was gonna retain, and I don't know, I felt like I just wasn't ready. But I was so thankful that I was in there with Sasha, because I just felt like I just needed her, and she always just calms me down. She helps me. You know, we're just like this. So that was crazy. All my family was there, and I remember sitting in the big old stadium beforehand and just like, I had posted this that day, but I still remember it so clearly. I always thought WrestleMania was like happened on a different planet when I watched it on TV, because it's so big and it's just out of this world magical. So to me, it was like, it wasn't even happening on Earth. It was somewhere else. And like, but it's so big. How am I not there? I just couldn't put two and two together, because it just seemed like an unreal thing. And then to be there standing in front of everybody in my family, like I was so emotional the whole day. It was insane.
It is an overwhelming experience. I mean,
Yeah.
because it is that big. I mean, it's a worldwide thing. I mean, it's just like a Super Bowl in the
Yes.
NFL.
Yes, that is that's how I explain it to non-wrestling fans. And like, it's the Super Bowl, but with a million more fireworks and like just so much better.
It's a big time. I understand the year prior in WrestleMania 32, you sat out in the crowd or
Yeah.
stood out in the crowd and took it all in.
Yeah.
Tell me about that. Why'd you do that? What was that all about?
Well, because I'm just such a loser, and I love being out in the crowd, watching live, feeling the energy. But because it was their first WrestleMania, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky, of course they were in a match together. It was the new women's championship. Like they had just, crazy because Lita was the one to introduce the new title. So I'm out there for that too, watching it live in person, crying, oh my God, this is so cool. Then go watch their match, and just, I had to be there for them, watching their entrances, crying, and just wanting to be there, but also feeling like I was, you know, like I was still a part of it somehow. We all helped each other get to where we were and are. So I was so proud of the division. And I like to say now that like they kind of, in a weird way, I know it was only like 8 months or a year, paved the way for me. You know, if I came in, there's a Divas Championship, and I would have been put in a group with all of them. Like, you know, they were all put in groups when they first got there. I feel like they kind of set the table for me
Right.
to be better when I got there.
Were you thinking like, hey man, God dang, when's it gonna be my time? When am I
Yeah.
gonna be in there?
Yeah, it definitely ate at me. It was so hard. And I was standing there with like Peyton Royce and Billie Kay and a few of the other girls, and I'm just like, I'm not supposed to be here. Like, I'm supposed to be there. I've done all I can with NXT, and that WrestleMania was when it really started, I think, turning in my head, and really started getting maybe a little annoying to me that I wasn't being even talked about being called up yet.
Right. Going back to, a little bit after WrestleMania 33, as time goes on, it seems like, I don't know, if you're starting to flatline just a little bit,
Yeah.
or things kind of start taking a downward turn. I have some footage from a promo because you'd been injured. And so you go out in front of a Toronto
God.
crowd.
Yeah.
Normally, I'm a happy person. It's really hard to be happy right now. I sat on my couch all week, and I went through the waves of emotion. I was sad. I was
From a character standpoint, I mean, here's an absolute sweetheart. And this is you, babyface, the hugger.
sounds cheesy, guys, but
You got a bad wing.
you guys made me feel a lot better. I saw your tweets and your posts. I got
They start booing you.
They booed me so bad.
Brutal.
Yeah.
who are not booing right now. I'm thanking everybody.
You're saving this. You're doing a good job.
Thanks.
Because you're thinking on your feet right here.
Yeah. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
You guys who tweeted me and who are sending your well wishes are the ones I want to thank, because you're the reason I'm going to move forward, and then I'm going to put a smile on my face and look forward to coming back.
Dang. That sucked.
You tell me.
Yeah. I don't know. Toronto just doesn't like me or what it is, or they thought it wasn't legit, but
It's like being in Nassau Coliseum,
yeah.
right?
Yeah. They just hated me, and they weren't buying a word that I said. I for reals separated my shoulder. I was taken out of my SummerSlam match. I was supposed to have a championship match at SummerSlam. And that was the first time I was ever out of action in wrestling. And like Sasha, I think, comes out after this. She gives me a hug and she's like, screw these people. I'm like, yeah, what the heck? I don't know. I was trying to pour my heart out, but
But that's one of the
sucks.
toughest things, because you live and die by a crowd's response.
Mm-hmm.
When you go out, how they respond during a match, whether you win or lose or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're just like, you got a shoot injury,
Yep.
trying to give them a little props back. Hey, I appreciate your tweets. And then all of a sudden the boos come.
Yeah, and that makes me
that'll
look-
rack you.
that makes me look bad too. So I'm like, oh, here I am supposed to be this big baby face of the company, and now I'm getting these bad reactions. So now I have to go back and face my bosses. It's like, what's wrong with you?
Did that put a chip on your shoulder, or was just, hey man, WTF is going on here?
I wouldn't say a chip on my shoulder. I think I was a little hurt by it, to be honest. Like I didn't,
Absolutely.
and I don't know. I just didn't realize. I couldn't figure out why they didn't like me or what I was doing wrong or what was going on. But I don't know. I just wanted to get out of there at that moment.
But at that point, did you think that, hey, this hugging thing is kind of running its course a little bit, or you still just
a
bad
little
crowd?
bit. Yeah, a little bit of both. I did feel, throughout this time and a little time after this, I already felt it was time for a change. It was just not working anymore.
Meanwhile, you got Charlotte and Becky starting to break out, and Sasha is starting to have some momentum. Was there a fear that you were getting left behind? Because you got called up after them, and now they're kind of starting to get that momentum and that little separation. You tell me.
So the thing I thought that I just started realizing now, I think because of the kind of babyface I was, because of the kind of character I was, they couldn't see me, whoever's doing the shows, the boss, couldn't see me in these positions to have, they were having last man standing matches, they were having TLC matches, they were main eventing. But I think they thought, Bayley's character, or Bayley can't really be put in that position, just doesn't fit her. So I was put in these like arm wrestling matches or these crazy backstages or I just wasn't seen at that level. That's when it was like, I was getting anxious, like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah, you know what? That makes sense. So that you could see why maybe from a booking standpoint they're trying to almost put a limit on you,
Yeah.
or limit the character, because we don't see her in these gritty things.
Right, but it's like I went backwards, because NXT I was main eventing, I was having Iron Woman matches, but then I come here and I'm like this little, like in preschool again,
Right. Hey, on February 17th at Elimination Chamber, you and Sasha become the first ever WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. That was pretty damn cool, right?
Yeah.
And a hell of a match as well.
Yeah, it was fun. Gosh,
But
love
did
those.
you like working elimination chamber matches?
Yeah.
Because like you, I don't like 4-ways, no 3-ways. Tags I'm cool with, singles I thrive on.
Mm-hmm.
And now all of a sudden, elimination chamber tag match. Is that too much? I mean, because a great match.
Thank you. It's hard. This was my second elimination chamber match. I like it because the stipulation of it, I guess, or the atmosphere that it is, and I can get creative in my head, like, okay, we can use this part of the ring and do this, or we can do this out here. And with so many different girls, it was easy to get creative with.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's one of my proudest moments for sure.
Really?
Yeah, because we talk about it all the time, but like we fought for those tag titles like crazy.
So that was a big deal to you.
Yeah, huge deal.
Did you enjoy tag team wrestling?
Yeah, I didn't realize, what's funny is like you do all these live events, right? We were on the road, do Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you do live events, and we're always put in tag matches. But I never tried to learn the psychology of tag wrestling. It was just always random. Okay, you're gonna team with Natalia, you're gonna team with Charlotte tonight. It was just so random that I didn't pay attention to how to properly put together a tag match until we started getting serious about being a tag team. And that's when I started falling in love with tag team wrestling.
To your point, a lot of times on the road, they'll put, people in tags to, decrease the mileage or, the bumps.
Right,
to
yeah,
try to
which you could
protect talent.
appreciate. Yeah.
But you don't really think about, hey, let's really try to work all these tag situations.
Yeah.
Y'all, with the chemistry you and Sasha had, started working the chemistry, having all the matches. And what I always liked, it's like playing, chess or checkers. A single is a single, but when you have 2 and 2, and then that referee to work in there as well, there's more moving pieces. And if everybody's on the same page, the stories that can be told can be much more complicated and weave different things in and out.
Yeah, and that was when I started seeing the beauty and the magic of tag wrestling. And when like the Riot Squad came along and when the Iconics came along, they all wanted to do the same as us and just be creative. And it was just more opportunity to show more girls, at the same
Right.
time. And like these tag matches, we can show 4 women instead of 2 women. It became so fun, and I'm so proud of those titles.
But you brought up the Iconics. You would go on to WrestleMania 35, and you and Sasha would lose the titles to the Iconics when you had Charlotte, Ronda, and Becky headlining WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Okay, you're in a tag, so you've got that spot. You lose the titles, you 3 amigos are in a main event.
Yeah. So honestly, I see that Mania for our match was just as important as the main event to me because it was the first time the women's titles were being defended at WrestleMania. And
That's cool.
And we did that. We brought these teams together. We were in there with Beth and Natty. Like, that's incredible to me. That was a huge win for us. And to be able to, be in the ring when the Iconics win the titles for the first time in front of all these fans, like, it was just, I love stuff like that. I don't think about like, oh, I want to be in this spot or I want to be obviously I want to main event WrestleMania, but I was so proud of what we did and that we were able to have that moment together. And then we went out and watched this at Hardcam, So it's just a big night for all of us, really.
But it's all about, it's competitive, but it's the fact that you guys are all doing that.
Yeah, and it's different things, obviously. Like, we want to be in this spotlight too, but as much as they're doing and that they did to get there, we also, brought something into existence that was never even talked about before. So like, it just was, we were all doing big things, it felt.
Right. A little bit after WrestleMania, you would defeat Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's Championship, and that would make you the first ever Grand Slam winner. And that would be NXT Championship, Raw Championship, SmackDown Championship, Tag Team Championship, correct?
Yep.
Ain't been done before, you did it. You did a bunch of other things.
I know.
How did you feel when you did that? I mean, because it's a notch on the gun.
Yeah.
And like when you're doing it, you want to brag about it, but come on.
Well, I didn't even realize it until I got back to my hotel and I was getting all these tweets. Fans know more than I do, and they
do.
keep up with everything.
That's why we love them.
Yeah, I know. And they were like, first ever women's Grand Slam, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. This night was freaking huge for me. This was one of those nights with that huge reaction, and I was in the crowd and I felt like invincible and I couldn't believe it. Plus, Sash wasn't there, and it felt like I finally spread my wings, because I didn't have her for a while, for a couple months, and then I did this, and then I felt like, oh, I could breathe again, and I'm doing okay without her. I'm doing okay.
How do you deal with pressure when you're riding this kind of momentum? Is it your confidence level?
Day by day.
Day by day?
Yeah, I can't think too far ahead, and I would just stress myself out and grind my teeth down to the freaking gum. So I just like day by day, got to take it slow.
Did you think a little bit after this, the focus drifted away from you a little bit?
Yeah, yeah. I was. There was a time where I was frustrated so much. At SummerSlam, I wrestled Ember Moon, I think, and like the way it was presented to me wasn't the way that it played out, and then our match didn't even match what it could have been. So I felt like I was not feeling good. I felt like I wasn't bringing anything to the table, and I wasn't doing anything for the division or the company, and it was, I don't know, it was really, really bothering me.
But sometimes, like you said, the way it was presented to me wasn't the way it was.
Right,
It's like
yeah.
almost like someone yanking a carpet out from under you.
Yep. I'm like, come on, this is supposed to be like, woof.
Are you kidding me? Really?
Yeah.
We're doing this? What wasn't clicking? What wasn't working?
Honestly, when I think about it now, I think it's just because, like back in NXT, the reason that character worked so well was because I felt it, and it was so real. I still was in awe of all this that I'm doing and being in the WWE and having my first championship. But when it got to that point, it's like, how can I grow as a performer and a character and as a person without losing who I am, like losing my character at the same time? So I was really struggling with, who am I right now? And like, how do I make this better? How do I, even though I'm the champion, I don't feel like the champion. So like, I think I just wasn't feeling it. So it wasn't connecting with anybody, not even myself.
Wasn't this around 2017? Because you'd come over to do my podcast and you were talking about feeling a little flat and maybe making some changes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was feeling it since then.
Yeah.
That was, so when I won the title was in 2019, but yeah, I think I just wasn't feeling it for a long time. It was kind of, it's
It's
kind of
been
like
a
a
while.
relationship, you know, where you're like, man, this don't feel like it used to, and something's missing. And that was kind of what it felt like. And I just,
It's weird to be so entrenched in something and almost seemingly lose your way.
yeah.
And almost kind of like a parallel with Flair losing his confidence. I talked to Undertaker. There was a period when he lost his confidence. Would you say you lost confidence, or you just kind of like, hey, it don't feel right?
Both. I think it didn't feel right, and I was losing confidence because I felt that I was slipping right through the company's fingers, where I thought I had so much to offer, so much to give. I can do great things, but I just felt like I wasn't being seen in that light. So I was just going to get left behind. I was just going to be forgotten about. So I was getting really nervous about that. I didn't know how to stop.
That's frustrating. Did you have a come to Jesus meeting with anybody? Did you say, hey, Vince, we need to talk?
I talked to him all the time. And even after like every segment, every match, I would go, shake his hand, thank him, and just, is there anything you want from me? Am I doing everything you want? And he would always, he's always awesome to me. Just say, yeah, you're doing great. Everything's fine. Just keep smiling and, blah, blah, blah. But, I could only do so much for so long till it's like, all right, now what?
So explain to me how you harness all the energy and frustration into this.
I think I just reached a breaking point for sure, because the week before this was Hell in a Cell. I wrestled Charlotte. I lost the SmackDown Women's title, and I was to cry after this happened, like break down and have this moment and cry and just lose it. But like, what do I do after that? Am I going to come back the same person? And then what? Now I'm really not going to be like, now I'm really screwed. Now I'm stuck. And so all of my energy, everything, I said, okay, you know what? I just got to give it all. I got to put it all out there and see what happens. And this is what happened. Like, I gave them my ideas. I said, I need to do this. I can't come back and be the same Bayley after I just lost my title and I cried. Something has to change. I have to be different. I need to do something different to better myself. And to me, this is what it was, to get rid of all the stuff that doesn't work anymore. Cut the Bayley buddies.
What on earth? Bayley's slaughtering the inflatable people, her trademark. Well, yeah, and something that's defined Bayley throughout her entire career here in WWE. And what Bayley's all about, that fun-loving persona.
Seems to me that it was more than a temper tantrum after losing the title, Cole. Bayley's undergone some sort of metamorphosis.
Yeah, a complete change in personality from the former champion, Bayley.
How did that make you feel? You're getting rid of these bastards. I mean, they've
I
been
know.
great, but it's time to shed them because you've talked in your interviews on a shoot. You needed to grow.
Yeah.
And this was a step. Nicole obviously went to the dark side, but it was growth.
Yeah. I felt sad in a way, and I felt like, oh my God. And then I felt scared. Am I ruining my career? Is this the worst thing I'm ever gonna do? Is this a huge mistake? But it honestly just felt like slashing those buddies, cutting my hair off. It was just like shedding snakeskin. When I did it, sounds cheesy, but like I just felt like a breath of fresh air, like a fresh start. Like I had the opportunity to start over and make sure I do it right and don't mess up and just take the momentum. They're giving me this huge moment. It was the main event. I was just lucky that they were going for it and that they approved of it. You know, this was in a 3 or 4 day span of something needs to change now. I can't be back on TV and be the same person because I knew I was getting this title match. So, I mean, it was all just like, that was me putting myself out there and just like, all right, it's my last ditch effort to save my career, kind of.
I want to play a promo that you cut, and I dug this promo.
Okay.
I slashed those Bayley buddies because that has defined me my entire career. It is how they saw me. They saw me fun and colorful, something to put a smile on their face. But what about me, Miz? Every single week I gave and I gave and I gave headbands, high fives, hugs. And all they did was take. But they didn't see who I was and what I was trying to be, a role model and a hero to make a better future and change the world.
Change your world, baby.
You know, I used to
Trying.
think that this division lacked opportunity, but this division is lazy. This division lacks desire and lacks passion. And I used to be there. I used to try to be what they wanted me to be.
They.
But the truth is, I have outgrown them.
We'll pause here before you drop some knowledge.
So do you guys want some inspiration? Life sucks, and then you die.
God.
Wow. Boy, you really know how to put the damn nail in the coffin, don't you?
Oh my God.
How good did that feel? I mean, because it's a rib on a square, about a half shoot, but it's a
Right.
work.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
many things going on.
Yeah, I know. First of all, my makeup looks insane because I was trying to find myself, you know? Man, it did feel good. It felt, man. I knew I had to be the complete opposite of who I was. I didn't know how I was gonna get them to hate me, like, and how I was gonna get them to believe who I am now, you know? So I just like had to do a complete 180 and just not be Bayley, just be this different version. But I was so nervous for that because it's The Miz and he's a great talker and, you know, my best friend's sitting next to me. But like, when they came to me and say, you're gonna cut this promo, I need it to like make sense and I need it to be real and I need it to give real reason, not their reason, my reason. That was where the role model like nickname came from. So just like the hugger, when I started the hugger gimmick, I wanted them to see that I was trying to be their hero, you know? The role model is what stuck out to the fans. So I saw like, read my Twitter the next day or whatever, role model, Bayley's our role model, whoa, whoa, whoa. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. I was like, now I have a new thing instead of the hugger, like now I could be the role model. So that was where that promo like became, you know, the role model thing.
Ding dong. role model here.
Yes.
Perfect timing. You know what? When you get that and you get a little bit of response from it, it's like, hey, here's what it is.
Yep.
And a role model, what a gimmick.
Yeah, I could just be so cheesy. I'm like the worst role model ever.
Of
but
course.
It was so perfect. And I was, man, the freaking ding dong thing, I don't know. I love those things because like you can't plan them, but it's just like if they stick out to people, then you have to pay attention to it and you have to, feed it to them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Man, that's what I like. You're going out on a limb, and you ain't afraid to go out on a limb.
Mm.
And the fact they responded accordingly, hey, man, yeah, she's right. We got to do this.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you did. And you pulled it
Hair
off.
Violet.
And you know what? And in doing so and making that transition to being that dark person, it's not like super dark. You're it's
Yeah.
just a small switch. I mean, like almost like a 180, but it's not you're overdoing or overplaying everything. It's just, hey, a different mindset. This just happened. Here's what it is. And that's why I keep kind of complimenting you. You're not overdoing it. You're riding the edge of a lightning bolt perfectly.
Thank you. I when I first thought of all this, I wanted to be like Eddie Guerrero in WCW when he would look so miserable. And I think we've talked
Great,
about this
right?
before.
Yeah, we have.
And I just wanted to be miserable and just hate life, hate all the fans, hate that I had to go and do this and prove to everybody like I already know I'm the best. Why do I have to go have this match? That was like the mentality I wanted. But obviously it all grew and changed and pandemic happened, have to entertain myself and just became this obnoxious, annoying,
But
person.
obnoxious and annoying, the way you do it works, because if you'd have played it as dark as Eddie did, and he was a master at it.
Right.
So I think maybe that would have been too dark.
I think so.
And that's speculation, but I appreciate the kind of parallel correlation you made to Eddie Guerrero.
Yeah, that's, just how I just wanted to make that complete flip, I guess. And when I saw him, you believed it. It's like, man, he does not look happy. And that was what I wanted to portray, I guess, just the complete opposite.
What did the people that know you the closest and your fellow workers or your friends think about the new Bayley?
I mean, I get a lot of it makes me sound like I get a lot of compliments. No, it
Yeah.
seems like a lot of people everybody's always been so supportive of me. But the first person that comes to mind went like TJ Wilson, he is now he's a producer, WWE producer, who we are so lucky to have. He helps all the women's matches, most of the women's matches. But I've been so lucky to work with him so closely this year. He's like such a wrestling genius and watches it and just picks everything apart. He knows everything. He's the one that actually points things out that I do. So he's like, oh, when you did this in the match, he'll always watch the matches back before I do. When you did this, that was awesome. When you did this, that was great. And so then I watch for those things. So I know, okay, I did that good. I'm going to keep doing that, So he's probably the one who compliments me the most, to be honest. And that is really, he's like proud of the work that I've done this year and makes me so happy.
Here's a question, 12 years in, you've been a heel, give or take a year over.
Mm-hmm.
So critiquing your matches and going back and seeing what you can improve, other than TJ, who do you lean upon for that?
Sasha, she helps me a lot.
She's a great heel.
Yeah, she
I like
is.
her better as a heel than I do as a baby, and I love her. So
Yeah.
Not gonna say the same for you.
Yeah. I think I just want to, I think I go to people for different opinions, and I don't want to ask everybody for their opinion because then it's just overwhelming and it's like, okay, it means nothing. So TJ can literally help me on every single aspect that I need. Sasha helps me a lot with psychology. So I have my people that I go to, but for me, I think at this stage, I have to just do it myself because I can see what I want to be and I see where I can go and nobody else. We all kind of get lost in this is how it should be. This is how it's supposed to be. This person did it like that, but I don't want to do it like anybody else.
No, you're 100% right because
Yeah.
you can take all the information in, you can take all the opinions in, but you filter them out and I can tell people, hey, aggression, this, that, or whatever worked for me. It's not, I can tell you my story, but only keep a piece of it that works for you.
Yeah.
And so you've got a great filter because the bottom line is if you ain't feeling it in your gut, you can get all the advice in the world, but how good is all the advice in the world if you don't know how to use it or, again, what's right or true to Bayley?
Yep. Yeah, you have to feel it. I can't be one of those people that's just like, oh, that's a great idea, I'll do it. But like, does it fit me? Why am I doing it? Does it make sense? So I'm super picky when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah, and you got yourself to where you are because of you and the machine. So if you start relying on everybody else, and they didn't get they maybe were working partners, but you using your instincts is what got you there. So keep using them and don't lose them.
Yep. Yeah. Thank you.
So fast forward to the summer of 2020, and you and Sasha are doing great character work, killer matches as the SmackDown Women's Tag Champs. Did that rejuvenate the two of you back together, the chemistry, putting matches together?
Yeah, I think so.
Great picture.
When we were the tag team champions the first time, we never got to have all the matches we wanted to. We didn't have that opportunity to, you know, showcase everything. Then we always thought it would be fun to be a heel team, to be like you and Hunter. Like, we just wanted to be like jerks. And then we finally had the opportunity. We went with it, and I think our promos together, our matches together, being able to feed off each other is better than us as baby faces, because we can be jerks and we can make fun of people, and so easy to feed off each other. It was like, man, even though there's no crowd, it feels like maybe the funnest times I've ever had, besides, you know, times in NXT or whatever. But this is just, I never thought this would ever happen. We both were double champions.
What does Sasha mean to you on a personal level, a business level? Because you've done so much together. You were tailor-made for each other as opponents. Great chemistry together, because I love when you guys work together, whether, you know, it's on a team or against each other. It just seemed like there's a real bond there, but I've heard Flair Steamboat, there really wasn't a bond. Flair Dusty wasn't really a bond.
Yeah.
I get a different vibe from y'all.
Yeah, we do. We just, you know, ever since, like you said, that Brooklyn match, I think was, we just put our trust in each other. It was like, all right, I can main event WrestleMania with this chick, and I can, any situation we're put in, any match we're put in, I can always feel comfortable, feel confident, feel safe, feel like we can make magic whenever we're in the ring together. But on a personal level, yeah, she's my best friend, like someone that I can go to for family stuff, or obviously like when I feel stuck in wrestling, and when she needs help, or like now that we're split off and we have different stories and everything, we still talk all the time, still need help all the time. But I think I wouldn't be the person or the performer that I am today without her, just because she's, as a wrestler, I always thought she was ahead of her time. She's just so detailed, so good, had a different mind. She was studied like nobody else. So I learned from that. But on a personal level, just somebody that I know after wrestling, when I'm done with WWE, she'll always be there. So I'm so thankful for her.
I remember watching in an earlier interview from a few years ago, you mentioned, and it might have been right after Brooklyn TakeOver, about how she pushed you in the ring.
Yeah.
And I always felt like if I was in there with The Rock, for some reason, we brought out the best in each other. And it wasn't about a shoot, it wasn't about anything, it was just that chemistry, that magical bond. You can have chemistry with a lot of people, but sometimes that special chemistry, and that's seemingly what you guys have.
Yeah. Sometimes chemistry is just like a physical chemistry, like, oh, I can have a great match with this person, but maybe you don't feel the energy, or you don't feel the emotion from that person. But with Sasha, I feel everything, and everything just clicks.
It does. And I'm about to play some footage for you,
Okay.
and we can go through some of your best work.
Okay.
I enjoyed this. Okay, Shayna Baszler. Man, Shayna Baszler's great.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Tough ass,
She's legit.
legit,
Yeah.
great gimmick, great look.
She's a funny
Shooter.
person.
She's funny.
Yep. She likes to drink beer.
I'm in. All right, Nia Jax. Oh, you guys just got pinned.
Nia Jax did a crossbody.
High
Crazy.
flyer.
Yep.
WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler.
Hey, Sasha, come on, take your time. Hey,
Sasha, get out of my face! I don't need your help!
calm down. Hey,
Leave her
calm down.
alone. She's fine.
Obviously, the paramedics want to take a look at Sasha. You're going to try to lend a hand here because you're
Gotta
so
help my best
caring.
friend. You know, we got.
That's what friends are for.
Right. We do everything together.
Listen
She
to
hurts,
you.
I hurt.
Want to slide over? You want to stand? This is tremendous. She's
awesome.
This is good. Bam!
Kicked her so hard in her freaking neck.
This is great. Vicious, vicious, and great bump, Sasha. Sell Eric, cringe in the back.
Shut the hell up! Get out of here!
One of the things I love is to do, you'll always yell at Michael Cole for some reason. I don't know what that deal is,
I don't
but
know.
it cracks me up in a good way.
Yeah, that freaking guy.
Say my name again, Michael Cole.
Look at
Okay,
me,
there we
put in a
go. This
freaking
is
chair on.
reminiscent of when I put Brian Pillman's ankle in the chair and jumped off on it. But this obviously is much more devastating.
Oh, yeah.
How could you do this to your best friend?
She's useless.
She's useless.
She just
You're
lost
right.
the titles for us again.
Oh, that's great. See, this is a great setup here, though.
Drink to
Because
that.
I'll drink to that too. Cheers.
Cheers.
So you put her head in a chair, jump on it. Then she comes back a little bit later, gets you to sign a contract using a chair. That was a great visual.
Yeah.
Then we go into a Hell in a Cell match. She had been in a couple,
Yeah, she was in 2 before that with Charlotte and Becky.
and you had been in
0.
0. God dang, I love this match. And I love the way you guys utilize the structure. You know, she used it to jump off of. You didn't climb on top of it. It was just about the way you used it. Okay, so tell me about this match. How brutal was that? Because you guys beat the hell out of each other.
Yeah, I know. I was so like, when I was preparing for this match, I was like, man, I wanted to do a ladder match and TLC matches because of the Hardys and Lita and all this stuff, but I've never wanted to be in a Hell in a Cell match.
Right.
Like, that's not one of the matches you want to be a part of because it looks so scary, but I was so excited, obviously with her, but it was so brutal. I was more so watching her previous matches and just wanting to do different things. I don't want it to be like your match with Charlotte or with Becky,
Yeah.
and I don't want it to be like these guys' matches or whatever. So we were just really struggling with being creative with the structure, like what I said with the chamber, you know?
Right. Let's go to some footage from a Hell in a Cell match between you and Sasha.
All right.
Love this match. All right, here you go. You got your chair with you. No way you can lose.
Nope. It's gotten me so far in life.
Can't you? Oh. Watch your reaction, though. Oh, really?
That's all right, idiot.
See, you're never overplaying everything, you know, or
Oh.
anything. So you're playing it right the way it should be. Center in, out she goes. Ma'am, this is nice. Climb up to the top, pulls you in. Head on the chair. Okay, here we go.
Put the chair too high. I wish we had a crowd.
Man, this is nice. Boom, God
God.
dang.
She's so crazy.
Nice. Bam. Nice, there you go, right in the middle. See, this hold always looks like a shoot. That's why it always looks good.
Yeah.
Sometimes, I won't mention names, there's been gaps and holes like that. I don't like that. Okay, you make the escape here.
Yeah, even when I put it on, I can't put it on as good as she does. Like, she for reals does it the best.
This is good here. Racker. Oh, steel pipe down there on the frame of the ring. Taking your time, you're very composed. I know you've been working now for, what, 12, 13 years?
12 years,
So, I mean,
yeah.
you don't rush anything anyway, but you always take your time. You're very deliberate. Doing some work with the kendo stick. Yeah, those things hurt. If
Yeah.
you're wandering at home, they hurt like a sumbitch.
For me, it hurts more than a chair.
Right. And you got to bring them.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Get out of here. Boom, nice. Knee right to the head. Pick her up with authority. Belly to belly. cover. I always like the way you hook the leg deep. Kick out. Good kick out. She's hurt. All right, here we go. Maybe another one will do the trick.
Oh, idiot doesn't stay down.
Come on. See, look, you're solid, you're not going crazy. It's just perfect.
Get off us!
Taking her time. Okay, things about to go wrong here. Oh! Face bump on the chair.
Just wanted a belly-to-belly run.
Yeah.
God.
Oh, you're screwed.
That's what did it.
Back to the using that right foot,
Yep.
you know, almost like on the hands. Look at devastation. See, look, you're not going crazy, you just lost. She's just jubilant. Been through hell, but won the match. You know, you don't get too low, you don't get too crazy, you don't get too high. You just riding that out, you know, like you're
Yeah.
supposed to.
Yeah.
That's why I like you as a heel. I think you're a natural heel. I like you better as a heel than I do as a baby, and I loved you as a baby.
Yes, that's awesome.
Right?
Yeah.
Are you having more fun as a heel?
Yeah.
Because it's fun to be loved, right?
Yeah, I had great times in NXT when I was during that time we all started like getting out of Florida and that. But right now this year, yeah, it's been so much fun because I feel like I don't have any restrictions. I feel like I'm just like been let out of the cage where I'm just like, screw you, Michael Cole. Like I could do whatever I want in a way.
You can.
Yeah.
You can't do that as a baby.
Yeah, and
So-
I just love working at that pace.
So how did that thing with you and Michael Cole just start going? I mean, I just start randomly because I've been watching some of your matches lately. But
Yeah.
and when you call him out, it cracks me up in the right way.
Right. Because when we had no crowd and no fans, I just didn't know, like Sasha and I could only play off each other for so long where it's like, I would literally hear him talking. As I'm trying to think what I'm supposed to do next, I could hear Michael Cole calling the matches. So I'm just like, shut up. Like, how can I not
Yeah.
pay attention to him when you can literally hear him?
Right.
So it just became a thing, and I saw people reacted to it on Twitter or whatever, and then I just kept going. And he loved it. He plays back with me, too.
Bayley's a double champion on SmackDown.
On WWE!
Yeah, Bayley's a double.
Enjoy it, Cole.
That's how, natural things happen. It's
So it's
just
a
like
thing
the
now.
what,
Yeah.
It just happens, you know?
We'll forget the what. But up until that point, I mean, you held that belt for 380 days.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a damn run.
Yeah.
Because runs like that in today's day and age, that doesn't happen.
I know, and I didn't expect that at all. And before that, I mean, I lost the title to Charlotte for like 5 days. So before that, I was already champion for 100 and something odd days. So it's like, I think at the end of it, it was combined over 500 days that I held the title. And I can't even believe that that is a thing. Like if I never win a title ever again, I'll still feel accomplished with that. And I feel very proud of that I was able to do
You
that.
can't let anybody know that.
Don't say that.
No,
I
but you
mean,
know what?
After all the titles I win after this, that will still be special.
But you know what? I've talked like a lot of guys I've talked to. I talked to Undertakers. Sometimes the belts don't really make the person. Sometimes the person makes the belt, but
Yeah.
the belts matter.
Yeah.
And
Definitely.
so it's nice to have a belt, and especially when it's warranted, deserved, and to have a run like that also says something, about what the company thinks about you.
Right. Which made me super happy, especially after what we're just talking about. Like, felt like they didn't really believe in me or trust in me. And Old Bailey would never be able to have a Hell in a Cell match, They would have never thrown me in a match like that, brutal. So I do feel like I was able to prove that I can carry the division for that long, and be able to be all that I wanted to and just be consistent. That's all I want to do is just show that I can be consistent.
380 days. I mean, that says a lot about a company trusting you. And man, in this business, sometimes that's not so easy to do. Looking back with everything that you've accomplished from start to finish, all the highs and lows and in-betweens and the personal deals, and what's been the one thing that's kept you on track or kept you level-headed? Or is that just who you are as a person, grounded enough to make sense of it all. Because, hell, I've been all over the place, and many other people have been too. Was it a goal? Was it just to be true to the company and represent, or is it who your parents raised?
I think it is a lot of who I am and just wanting to prove a point that, I don't know, I do want to prove that I can be the most consistent performer and just show them that they can trust me, you know, or I want to be trusted, and I want to be looked at by the fans and by my peers as a top talent, as a top performer. It's hard, like, you know, when you're going for that long, you know, like, to not get lost in all the work and not lose yourself and then slack because you're tired or slack because you feel like you've already accomplished everything. So, like, I was consistently pushing myself. And when I felt a breaking point, luckily, like, you know, in my relationship, I was able to be like, can I just go on a break by myself? Can I go to Washington for 3 days and be alone, you know, like, just so I can refocus my mind, because I need it for work so much. So I think I take it day by day and just still have a lot to prove. Like, I still feel like people look at me and don't really see me as a Becky Lynch or, you know, someone, a top star. So I still feel I have a lot to prove and a lot to fight for.
But on the journey or the course of a career, it's a marathon, right?
Yeah.
It ain't a sprint.
Yeah.
It'd be great to get the top ASAP, but when it comes down to it, are you trying to run 100 yards or are you trying to run 26 miles?
Yeah.
And that's what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
And in the course of that is going to come everything. But then again, it's how you manage to keep everything together. Hey, man, Bailey's off the rails. We can put a towel on her.
Yeah.
But when you're someone that they can depend on, you always keep yourself in play. But sometimes in the lulls, in those low spots, when they really seemingly don't have anything for you, you just got to ride it out, and that's hard.
Yeah, it is hard. And I think what helped me this year was be a little selfish. Look out for myself.
Yeah.
You know, because I love helping the other women, and I love, whether it's helping them with their match or being giving in our match and just trying to make them the best that they've ever looked, because I want them to be like, man, I had my best match with Bailey, or for someone to see it and be like, that was your best match. Like, I always wanted that for them, but for the longest time, I wasn't looking out for just me. And I think that's what really helped me a lot this year and helped me grow and get me to, like, the next level that I needed to. It just took me a long time to realize that.
And man, when you say the S word, selfish.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, everybody has done it and have to do it.
Yeah.
And if you've never done it, you just don't understand the business, or you didn't get high enough.
Yeah.
But you did it in a way where you're still giving, but it's, hey, man, I got to look out for me here. Right?
Yep. That's what's hard too, is finding the balance of, okay, where do I not look like an a-hole? And, like, I'm only looking out for myself, when in reality, I want to be selfish and make myself this top star, so that when I'm here and I need to help Dana Brooke be a top star, then I can, and it's believable. And, like, I see, like, the grand picture of it all. It's just hard to, like, get to that day by day, level by level, I guess.
Man, I've watched almost your entire career, for sure, ever since you started down at NXT.
Yeah.
And watch you evolve, and I loved your babyface run, and I just thought you were a great character, because all the kids loved you, and it was just a great gimmick, a great character, and it was you. And then to finally get a chance to, it's almost like, you know, a Snickers commercial, not going anywhere for a while. I was like waiting. Okay, God dang, one of these days she's gonna turn heel. I think when she does, she's gonna be money.
Yeah.
And then finally you did that. You kind of went through the metamorphosis and you made the change. You cut the hair off, a little bit different attitude. You're edgy. Great promos. I like your cadence. You're not trying too hard. You've had a hell of a career. Congrats on the character work. I love where you're at right now. You'll go down in the Hall of Fame. I'm predicting the future.
Thank you.
That'll be in 6, 8, 10 years, whenever you decide to hang it up.
Yep.
But what is next for Bailey? You got a couple big pay-per-views coming on down the road.
Yeah. It's all hard to say, but, like, coming up right now, my eyes are on the Royal Rumble because of all the things that I've done. Grand Slam champion. I won a Money in the Bank match, which is, you know, goals like relationship goals. Yeah, relationship with wrestling goals. You know, winning the Royal Rumble is something that you could always, you know, you could only dream of. And winning the Royal Rumble means that you get a title match at WrestleMania. And I've never had a singles title match at WrestleMania. It's always been like the 4-ways or the triple threat or a tag match. So if I can do that within, you know, the same year or within a few months apart, I think that would, man, I would have almost a complete career. But just want to continue to help myself get to that next level. I still think I got a lot of growing to do, and a lot more work to do. But that's my next 2 goals right now.
Well, man, it's been fun watching you work, and I've got to know you as a person for quite some time. I mean, we never talk, but it's always fun when we see each other. This fits from way back.
What the?
Who's those young cats right there?
What?
Who's that with all the hair over there?
That little baby face. Look at
that baby
my
face.
smooth cheeks.
Hey, as we go out, thanks for stopping by the Broken Skull studio and hanging out with me. There's another picture of
What?
us.
I don't even know where that picture came from. The other one I've seen.
Handsome guy.
Someone
about
sent that
halfway
to
in
me.
shape.
I look so happy.
You are.
I am so happy. I know.
Now
Wow.
as a heel, would you be that happy to
Yeah,
see me?
still. Remember at MSG, I was like, I was waiting in Gorilla for you. I was like, all right, when Steve's done, we're gonna have a beer together. Like I was standing back there so excited.
You know what? I think we have that clip. Let's play it right now.
See it.
I'm already about half loaded.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yep,
still
call
do
me
it.
right out.
I drank for a living. I wrestled on the side. Hang on, where are you? There you
Oh
are.
my God.
Hell yeah.
I have pictures with all of them with our beers. Like, oh my God, that
Oh, you
was
do?
so cool. Yeah.
Tell you what, it's always good to go back to WWE. I don't want to come too often because, you know, I feel like I'm out of place.
No.
And it's the land of y'all now. It's what you guys are doing. So I don't want to take up too much space. But, hey, you know what? This has been a great conversation. I appreciate you coming out here. I know the world is different right now, but you still have a busy schedule. You're going to leave here, fly down, and go do work for television.
Yep.
So congrats on everything you do. Safe travels. Let's go out the way we
you.
started with the cheers.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thank you.
Hey,
Cheers.
I'm Stone Cold Steve Austin. This is Bailey. Thanks for watching the Broken Skull Sessions. And that's the bottom line, because I said so.
Ooh.